came! It finally came! The big one.
I've been looking forward to Starbound for a grand freaking long while. It was my most anticipated game of the year, trumping all those expensive big-time titles that came out. I mean, I enjoyed some of them for sure, but none of them gave me that giddy sense of childish excitement that Starbound still gives me to this very moment. Considered by many to be the spiritual successor of Terraria, Starbound is a game about exploring a massive procedurally generated galaxy and crafting your way to greatness. Unlike other games in the genre, Starbound will have a heavier emphasis on story and questing, though at the moment they're not implemented. The game has only just entered beta after all, but we'll hopefully see them before too long. It's still under heavy development, but Chucklefish is hard at work, ensuring that bugs are squashed, patches are sewn, and imbalances are unbalanced. Take my opinions with a grain of salt, though, because everything is subject to change, but also because my opinions taste better with salt. My experience with the game so far has been astoundingly positive. After a brief tutorial in the form of a quest line, you're thrown into the game world to explore at your leisure. The first thing I noticed was the sound design. I mean, listen to that! So much atmosphere! And that music! Mwah. There's over 5 hours of it! Perfect for a game of this length. After getting over the beautiful soundtrack, and let's face it, I'm still not over it, I found myself dying a lot. But once I got the feel for how the hostile wildlife like to go about things, I knew that rushing into combat was only going to get me killed. The enemies are a bit more unpredictable than I expected, requiring you to respect each one of them for their ability to kill you. Not all are immediately hostile. If you've been on a planet long enough, you'll learn which ones you need to be wary of. Enemies dish out more damage than you'd expect, but so do you. It seems like hits are more lethal on both sides, reinforcing the incentive not to get hit. But this is subject to change as the beta progresses. What's really cool is that the alien monsters you find, just like all of the worlds, are procedurally generated. You'll be hard-pressed to find two wild animals that look alike. Their designs remind me a lot of Pokemon, actually, and the fact that in a future update you'll be able to capture them as pets only makes the kid in me rub his hands together in greedy anticipation. Until then, I'll have to wait before I can come back for this guy later. The weapons are randomly generated too. I mean, the ones you build yourself are all the same, but the weapons you find, whether they be guns, swords, axes, or whatever, are all more or less unique in their own special way. It doesn't stop there, my friends, oh no. The trees are also randomly generated, the fish are randomly generated, and even the dirt is randomly generated! Look at that! Green dirt! While we're on the subject of dirt, let me smoothly transition over to my favorite thing about this game thus far. Are you ready for it? Sand. I kid you not. Sand is just... it's the best thing ever. I was afraid of it at first, considering the fact that sand crushes you to death in Terraria and Minecraft. But sand in this game, it's like a roller coaster, hiding underground, just waiting for you to find it and take a ride. It's the most whimsical thing I've ever seen. Just look at that, it doesn't even hurt you. Well, it's possible it just hasn't been properly implemented yet, but man, I hope we can safely play in this sand for at least a little while longer. As the beta currently stands, I'm enjoying it, but I do have a few issues. The first boss, for instance, is a bit too challenging, as far as first bosses go anyway, and will probably need more tweaking before it's perfect. I was forced to cheese my way past it, but I didn't mean to, we just sort of got stuck there. It's a beta, people! Cut it some slack! You lose a cut of your money every time you die. This is a good penalty for death, I think, but the price might be a bit too steep. You can spend hours accruing your wealth into the thousands, but then lose almost all of it after a mere few missteps. A banking system would fix this, but only if done right. Cheapening death too much might risk cheapening the game itself. In the first instance of the game, it wasn't immediately clear that you were allowed to fly to other planets from the get-go, but that's probably already been patched in by now. Speaking of which, be sure to bring extra wood and coal for fuel. I got stranded on a desert planet once. Took me a while to gather the resources so I could return, but I still have the memories. The stories I could tell you. There's also a co-op mode. Man, that's awesome. But I've yet to try it, as there are many things in this game I've yet to try. It's just so dang big! I intend to play more of it in the near future, especially since there are frequent updates. But until the next one, this has merely been my first impression. Yeah, I really recommend you get this game. You can get it on Steam, or you can get it on playstarbound.com. If you like this video, leave a like. If you comment on it. If you're one of those subscriber folk, then subscribe. Please. 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 Please.